Salem residents, how long have you wanted to speak out on a certain topic or issue, or felt you just didn't have a voice in the community, or you simply wanted to express yourself to a mass audience, but in a way that's never been possible before? Well, now all these things can happen. What this program will talk about in the next half hour are the new possibilities that have been brought to town with the establishment of Salem Access Television. Please join us. Public access television, certainly not a new idea to Salem residents, as they've long enjoyed events that have been televised. But with the establishment of Salem Access Television, residents will finally be able to understand the full potential of a local access television station. Hi, I'm Amy Ecker, and I'll be your host for the next half hour of this introspective of SATV, Salem Access Television. We'll explore issues pertaining to SATV and explain to residents what they can expect from this public access television station. And we'll also discuss why this is so important to the city of Salem. Salem Access Television, or SATV, is a non-profit organization dedicated to helping people express themselves through the medium of TV. That is why SATV's philosophy is television by the people, for the people. Salem Access, like any nonprofit organization, is governed by a voluntary board of directors. These 7 individuals represent Salem Access with the community in mind and provide guidance to SATV with this perspective.
Well, I think it's a tremendous opportunity for individuals and groups to communicate with the community. I think of all of the communities that have local access TV, I can't think of any that to which it's more appropriate than Salem, just because Salem is such a vibrant community with so many institutions and organizations active in this community.
People that want to express themselves in different ways, you know, this is their chance to do that.
Well, I think this is a unique opportunity for everybody in Salem to find out about things that they probably never were aware of, things that are happening in the city. There's just a wealth of things going on here that, despite other media, are just not known about. Things that different organizations are running that, because of limited budget and so forth, they can't buy ads to advertise and so forth, but nonetheless are important to get involved with.
This is something that's theirs, that they can come down and they can get training in an area that they've never had any exposure in. They can learn to do all kinds of things and get involved with a lot of different things in the city. I mean, I see it, the kids and retired people. What a perfect opportunity. They have more time on their hands than maybe the people that fall in between in that age bracket, and it would give them something, an area of interest that I know they're going to be interested in once they get down here, but that they probably never would have thought to explore on their own.
Carol seems to be one of the young up-and-coming business people in Salem, and I felt we should get as broad a cross-section of people on the board that we possibly could. Carol's, both she and her husband are both attorneys. They have young children. They exemplify to me anyway what the core of Salem is all about. And I thought a young professional mother would be a good representative on the board simply because she represents such a large constituency within Salem itself. So I think the board, if you look at everyone on the board, you see that they represent something that's part of the fiber of Salem, and they all bring to the board a little bit different perspective, but they all do represent a cross-section of Salem. And I think for this venture to be successful, the greater representation each little segment of the community has on the board, the better its chances of success are.
The one thing that I was impressed by joining this board was the different representation, the different areas of interest that all the board members represented, and I thought that it gave a well-rounded position for our board of directors, since we are serving such a diverse community. So I think that it's well represented. The other thing is I have a real strong feeling of empowerment, that people can get their message out, and accessibility to that information. And I think that it's very, it's a developing sort of system where people can come in and develop themselves and develop the community. And I think it's for the people of Salem, about the people of Salem, and I think that it's something that we've not had, and really focuses on who we are and what we are. So I think that it presents wonderful opportunities from all walks of life, and I'm very excited about that.
When we started off, none of us knew anything about anything, and with a lot of research and study and visits and so on, we end up where we see ourselves today.
I think there's an opportunity here for people in Salem to learn about the possibilities of getting involved in their community, learning about what's happening in their community, perhaps making a contribution themselves. And this is a medium that we're just on the cutting edge, in the beginning of learning about how we can use cable television to improve the quality of life in our community, to improve volunteerism, to improve the community spirit. And there are a lot of things that happen now that people don't know about that are happening, and that perhaps they would want to get involved if they knew.
The mayor has a great deal of insight to recognize the opportunities that this studio and facility and center has, not only at the present stage, but down the road. I think that Frank Kulik's commitment on a personal level, outside the sort of city government issue, is phenomenal. He's completely dedicated to this studio facility and the concept of public access, and I think that he, of everyone that's sort of involved, has been just spearheading this, and I think that he's just going to be so happy, as he should be, and very proud, as he should be, because it was really his driving force and his commitment that this facility take place and up and running, and I think that he had incredible support from the mayor and the city government and all city officials to do that. So I think that Frank Kulik really epitomizes the spirit that we want to sort of embody in this facility.
City government's an interesting thing. It spends an awful lot of every citizen's money. It provides us with most of the services that affect the way we live in our community. You know, our snow removal, our school system, the condition of the roads, and just how Salem looks. I think if the people who vote and the people who pay taxes have an opportunity to look a little deeper into the government, which this station will in fact provide them the opportunity to do so, I think they become a little closer to it. They see the people they elect performing the functions they were elected to perform. I think it will perhaps stimulate more people to become involved in government, and I think the people that are already in government, I think it will show them a little more clearly to the citizens in a context perhaps they wouldn't see if this service wasn't provided to them. I think if used to its potential, I think it really will improve things in the community.
School sports is one of the avenues in the community that SATV will be exploring. Coverage by high school students is already underway and is something the board would like to continue when SATV officially opens June 4th.
We can talk a lot about what local access TV is going to be in the community, but I think it's important to look at what it's already been. And I think particularly of the high school sports. What we've been able to do is utilize Salem High students to actually do the telecasting of the games, including the camera work and all the setup and the takedown that's involved in that, as well as the play-by-play. And by doing that, we've been able to expand the importance and the reach of the athletic program in the high school to students who are not athletes and are not cheerleaders and are not band members, but who do have interests and talents in the area of camera work and the whole video scene and on-screen play-by-play.
And I would hope that the people in Salem will come and take part in Salem Access TV. It is for all people here in Salem to take use of, whether it's volunteer time or whether you pay to take a workshop or whatever. You know, it's important to do that.
I think that what we're doing here, we have to make sure that we are serving the public's best interest, and I think that it challenges us to not only see the initial step, but where this is going to bring us 5, 10 years down the road. And I also see that we have to make sure that it's very inclusive for everyone, and I think that it challenges each board member to step beyond where they are, to go forward, to make sure that we're including everybody and it's able to serve everybody. So I think that it gives us a perspective, and including me, a perspective of different walks of life and different opportunities, because I do think that what we're doing here is going to have a dramatic effect on the future of Salem and wonderful opportunities and really very capable of changing people's lives.
SATV's executive director Bob Mio comes to Salem from Sandwich, Massachusetts, where he was the director for Sandwich Community Access Television. It was here that Mio built a similar access center. Mio has been in the community-based media for about 10 years and is a graduate of Emerson College. SATV's training and production coordinator Ruth Durkee comes from Wakefield Community Access Television, where she served as the program director for 2.5 years. Durkee is a graduate of Fitchburg State College, where she majored in communications.
If we did anything right, we hired 2 great people to get this thing running, and I think that's a key move. Facility aside, I think it's people to make anything work. You can have the best equipment in the world and the best facility in the world, but if you have the wrong people running it, it won't happen. The fact that we picked the right people is the fact that it's happening on time, looking better than expected, and fortunately within budget as well.
We'll be offering a number of level of services. This is a training and education institution. In other words, when people get involved with us, we show them how to do TV. They go in through the training workshops, which are basic studio or portable one, and we guide them through from the beginner to the advanced on how to really put together your own television program.
As a member of the station, you get out of it what you put into it. It's the same as with any organization. You can come in. Unless you're volunteering in lieu of membership, which is 4 hours of volunteer time, you can put in as many hours or as few hours as you want. And there's really no pressure. I mean, it should be fun for people. It's designed to be fun. It's fun for us. We want it to be fun for the volunteers. So there's no pressure. You just come in and do what you want.
One thing that Salem Access is bringing is the whole idea of volunteerism, and we're bringing the notion that it's important for people to get involved in their community, to volunteer and help not only themselves but other people. So in this way we're using Salem Access as a vehicle for people to get involved with their community.
The idea of building a new access center was just incredibly exciting to me. I mean, it's very rare in access today that there is a startup like this. Usually many systems are already in place. So in order, for them to have built a new center, they had to have gone through a renewal process with the contract and with the community. And it's rare these days for a center to be built from the ground up. Usually something's already there.
An important step in creating a community organization is defining where the organization will physically be. After conducting a site survey of Salem, 285 Derby Street, a central location, was chosen as the new home for SATV. Located steps from Pickering Wharf and downtown, the location is readily accessible to all residents of Salem.
There's a great deal of accomplishment when you walk through the door. You recognize all the hard work that's gone through this, the effort that's taken place. Actually, a lot of the behind-the-scenes activity to bring this studio to the place that it is now. Before, when we first walked into it, and there were barely any walls, and just the thought that went into developing it, making the studio really a user-friendly facility for the community, and I think a really great asset to the community. I mean, I think this is going to be something that everyone in the community will be able to take advantage of, and it serve everyone throughout the community.
SATV's facility was acquired as a building which was little more than a shell of what it is today. The building was completely redesigned and renovated to become a fully functional television center. Architects Paul Lind and Jenna Copen, as well as the Welch Construction Company, were hired for the job. Copen and Lind provided a direction and flow to the work site. Having delivered a full set of architectural plans, they continued to consult on the job, providing key guidance in all phases of the build. Renovations began in early January of 1994 and were completed by April. Weather during the months of January and February were the largest complication. Heavy snow combined with temperatures in the single digits to below zero at night hindered progress at first. However, work stepped up considerably as the temperatures increased. Pouring cement floors, installing metal studs and drywall, and putting in electrical wires were all essential parts of putting the facility together. The finish work and decor was just as much an integral part in making the facility. Great attention was given to everything from the colors on the wall to the tile floor at the entranceway.
I feel the color is really important because people are affected by all the shapes and spaces, and that becomes more hidden though. We try to create a sort of ergonomically and sort of a feng shui, if you will, kind of flow throughout the whole building, and every angle has reflected that, but you won't know that. You only know that you feel good here. So I feel that the environment in an access center is all important. It should reflect the community, and it should be a place that people feel they don't even know why, very comfortable in, that they immediately know where the rooms are, so that it's not like a maze like you find in a lot of access centers, but where people can get from one place to another. And the color is to sort of create a little higher level of vibration.
Paul Lind was also contracted to do the equipment installation. While construction was still going on, Paul's crew ran wires around the facility totaling some 5,000 feet. This constituted an audio-visual system that allows signals to run from room to room.
At some point, after the conduit's up, but before the hung ceiling has been put in, we have to run the wire through. So what I like to do is get the director or whoever and several other volunteers to come in, and we spend a night basically up on step ladders with spools of wire and string and rope and whatever else, snakes and whatever else we need to do in order to get it through the conduit, and we pull all of the wire through the conduit. And it's all based on a plan. Before that, we've planned out exactly how many audio and video lines are going to go to each one of the rooms. And we start with the room that's furthest from the control room first, pull the lines to that, and then just keep pulling. Throw all the wire down. All right. In order to untangle it.
All right, is that it? Okay, that's all. All right, give me the, George, give me the end. Is that the end?
So one of the reasons why we like to do a lot of the site supervision is to assure that what happens is extremely close to what was designed. Because every position of every outlet, the position of every wall and doorway, there's a reason behind why we've done that. For the most part, I mean, some outlets it's just like, I need an outlet on that wall, that looks like a good spot for it. But especially where the equipment is going to drop into place, the actual positioning becomes very important because it's all been designed with the eventual equipment in mind.
Well, we certainly hope you've enjoyed today's program. The opening of SATV is an unprecedented opportunity for Salem residents to explore the world of local access television. For the first time, residents will be able to share ideas and thoughts with others in the community, but now on local TV. As you saw during the program, anyone in the community will now be able to see how a television studio operates, or learn how to produce a documentary, or even learn how to speak in front of the camera. But more importantly, SATV can be the catalyst for greater community awareness and help bring out the many important issues in the city out in the open in an electronic form to be discussed and shared. SATV looks forward to working with all residents in the city. Please call us or stop by our studio for more information on how you can become involved in community access television. Thanks so much for joining us. I'm Amy Ecker.